As many of you know, the Amazing Digital Circus has been out for about a month now and has over 100 million views. And while it has amassed a huge fan base, it's also gathered a ton of haters and a fair bit of drama. Now, the first bit of drama that people have been complaining about is all the not safe for work content that has popped up over the last month. If you type in a name of any of the characters on Google or, God forbid, Twitter, you will be met with some truly degenerate artwork. Obviously, there's a ton of corn, but also just weird stuff like this Pomni feet pic for the toe freaks out there. And while I do understand that a ton of people are upset about this because they are sick of seeing their favorite fandom turned into smut, I'm really not surprised that this has happened. Do me a favor real quick and put your favorite fandom or simply the fandom that you are most involved in down in the comments and put a skull next to it if you know that there is some weird artwork on the internet of the characters of that fandom. Now, spoilers, I predict that there's going to be a ton of skulls in the comments because the internet is going to do what the internet does. It doesn't matter if you're a FNAF fan, Undertales, FNF, Sonic the Hedgehog, there is going to be smut on Twitter or R34 specifically. And if you really want to get into the weeds of it, you could type in something like Dora the Explorer and you will find grown, real-life women twerking as a literal child cartoon. You simply can't escape it, even though you may want to. And Gooseworx even made a little bit of a joke kind of addressing this issue. And while I think that Gooseworx is obviously taking this in stride a little bit, making light of the situation, I do want to acknowledge that she does actually show that she sees some of the content that's being made and that she doesn't necessarily agree with it, but I think she understands that this just kind of comes with the creation of artwork for one, and even on a bigger level probably the creation of a whole like TV series, or in this case a internet series. I also find it kind of interesting that she put up another tweet saying that she's going to try to kind of wrangle in the audience and make this fandom not be so toxic, but let's be real, that's a very, very tall order. But with all that being said, this issue doesn't really bother me with the Amazing Digital Circus because Gooseworx has made it clear that all of her characters are adults. You can go to the official wiki and see all their ages, and I think she even dropped a tweet at some point. And as long as people are not sexualizing children like how a lot of people did the boys from Spooky Month, I don't really care. The issue that I have with a lot of the not safe for work content is that it's bleeding over into YouTube, specifically into children content, aka these content farms. I was going to show you an example of a lot of these comic dubs, but then this channel called Pomni/Minecraft popped up while I was searching for examples. And I don't care what anybody says, the primary audience for Minecraft are babies, or to be more literal, very small children. Of course, there are some older children and even adults who play the game, but let's be serious, we know who this content is for. Just listen to this dialogue.
Yoo-hoo! Yes! Let's go faster! I love riding on this high-speed American roller coaster. Every time I ride here, the excitement feels like the first time!
Yeah, I really like it too. I'm so proud that I built this railroad. Now we can get to the other side of the digital circus much faster.
Yes, guys! Hit the like button if you also love riding on attractions and roller coasters, because it's so much fun and exciting!
Hooray!
This is clearly like some type of chat GTP script or something that's very low effort and then a AI generated voiceover. This content has very little effort put into it and even less soul put into it. And let's talk about the thumbnails real quick. They're obviously very suggestive and they have a sexual nature to them. Which again, I wouldn't care about if this was on like one of those adult sites, but this is clearly being used on YouTube to target children. Just like all that old Elsa Gate crap and more recently all that Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy type content.
Where are you?
But the most disgusting part for me is this line here.
Jax, did you take my shorts off? Why would you do that? Come on, give them back quickly! Stand still! Who am I talking to?
Yes, let's catch him! He took off our shorts and is running away!
For whatever reason, Jax is being used now as like some type of panty thief. This is just blatant garbage, and it also leads to another issue that is plaguing the Amazing Digital Circus voice actors right now. And that is that their voices are being replicated using AI, just as you saw in this video here. Now, while I understand that some people don't think that this is a big deal, I don't think anybody wants a bunch of YouTube videos online with what sounds like their voices saying inappropriate things like, hey, I have your panties, especially when most of it is going to be funneled towards children. A few weeks back, we actually saw Jax's voice actor named Michael Kovacs, I believe, tweeted this statement, basically saying that he was uncomfortable with a YouTuber called Flyboy VR using AI to sound like him. There was a bit of a back and forth between the two, but I think eventually Flyboy actually ended up changing the way that he makes his videos and the voices that he uses within them. But I understand why Michael was a bit freaked out here. This is like the worst that AI speech will ever be, meaning that pretty soon you're not going to be able to tell the difference between a real person speaking and a AI, which is obviously not ideal for a voice actor. And I was happy to see that overall it seems like the community was really backing the voice actors in this situation. Next, and probably the most serious drama that I will talk about in this video, is what's going on with Gooseworx. So apparently years ago, a creator named Tara Mass was joking around with Gooseworx, saying that she was coming back to her drilling fetish ways, with Gooseworx simply saying that you can't prove it's a fetish. Adam then comes back with a series of examples like old artwork that she made, and if I can be honest, I truly cannot understand why anybody would give a damn about this type of artwork specifically. I understand that it's weird, but it's truly tame compared to some of the artwork that you can see on the internet. And just to be clear, I'm not saying this because I'm like a huge Gooseworx fan. This is my first time actually seeing her work, and I know that she's been on the internet for a long time. I just truly don't really see the issue here. But maybe I'm missing some big context here, so if somebody has more information, leave it down in the comments, because right now it just seems like people on 4chan are grasping at anything to try to put dirt on Goose's name. And what makes me believe that even more is the fact that people have literally started to dox Gooseworx on the internet. And apparently it started in the glitch livestream that happened a few days ago, but it spilled out to other parts of the internet as well. Sadly, I even saw a video posted on YouTube doxing Gooseworx by a UTTP channel. And it was basically just posting all of her information in the video. The video that I saw specifically has been up for almost 2 weeks, and YouTube has failed to do anything about it. And I'm hoping this is because the information is fake and maybe YouTube has already looked into it, but after the sniper wolf situation, I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube doesn't do anything until people actually start yelling at them. And for those of you that don't know what UTTP stands for, it's the YouTube Troll Police, YouTube being with a U instead of a Y. And they are basically a group of kids on YouTube that say they attack trolls, but as you can see, they're actually the trolls themselves. And something tells me that there are not just children in this group, but some adult losers who are actually leading this charge. And if you come across their doxing video on the internet, you should definitely report it. I'm not big on saying that people should be kicked off of YouTube or anything like that, but if you are actively doxing people, you need to be gone, period. Because regardless of how you feel about a person's content, you should keep it on the internet. When you start to dox people and take things into the real world, you've gone too far. It only takes one crazy person to show up at somebody's house and it can be wraps for them and their family. Sadly, I've been seeing a lot of comments that claim Gooseworx made a comment back in the day that basically said if the fandom gets too crazy, she would scrap the project or tank it. And judging by the way things look right now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that turned into a reality, but hopefully we actually get more episodes because I do actually really like this animation. And just to throw this out there, I also know that there's some drama along with Kinger's voice actor, but I don't really want to touch into that one too much because a lot of his situation deals with like children and people that are underage, and that's not really the realm that I like to step into. And I also don't have a whole lot of information on the subject, so I don't want to just get on here and start talking recklessly, especially something that is as deep as this. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the video on the screen here. Subscribe today to become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you later with another video. Peace, peace.